Moses, thank you very much for joining us right now. The NSE appears to be steady, pretty much steady. It has started off the week on a softer trend, but it has been plagued by profit taking. Is this how you describe market activity so far?
Thank you very much, Samantha. Since last week, the NSE has been battered by profit-taking activities, but as the last week expired, the pressure exerted on the NSE actually was reduced. So we expected it, the week today, we expected it to open on a softer landing as it has, but we think the NSE has found its feet, and we expect the upward trend to be dominant going forward.
Yeah. Let's shift focus and take a look at the agricultural sector, because one that is very much plagued by factors which are out of the hands of management at these tea and coffee companies. So Sasini Tea coming up with another profit warning today, indicating that it's coffee prices that are under pressure, and on the cost side of the equation, costs are still rising. The question is, how are costs still rising at a time when inflation has actually come back quite considerably?
Thank you for that question. With regard to that, farm inputs, or with regard to fertilizers, has been on an upward trend in Kenya. Going forward, we expect that to, with regards to the VAT bill that is being tabled in Parliament, that bill is the one which is going to affect the fertilizers and farm inputs going forward. So with regards to Sasini, the decline in coffee prices is the one which is having a major factor on it. But I think it will be buoyed by the increase or the upward take or the hike in tea prices. That's the one. That's what is going to be supporting Sasini going forward. With regard to inputs, that's out of the hands of the company. That basically falls under the government of Kenya, and we're waiting to see what the government of Kenya are going to do about it.
Yeah. Let's just go back to the coffee side of the business, because of course it's still a very small part of the overall company, but in terms of sales and production, we have seen this trend where they're cutting back production of coffee. That's something that we're seeing sector-wide, and of course sales as a result dipping. What are your thoughts on the prospects for the coffee side of Sasini Tea's company?
That's a very good question. When you look at the coffee aspect of Sasini, it's basically being battered by the international markets. Coffee has been on the decline for the past 3-4 months, but we kind of see this trend starting to reverse in the past month as well. Yeah, we're seeing this trend, the decline in prices starting to reverse. Going forward, we expect Sasini to look for other avenues of diversifying their revenues, because the coffee aspect isn't working at the moment. But I believe that is another thing which is out of their hands. It's basically international markets. That's all I can say about it.
In terms of the banking sector, we've got Barclays Bank coming out with their results tomorrow. Your thoughts on the numbers that we're likely to see from the bank?
Barclays, going forward, the banking sector has done extremely well. Again, it has recorded exceptional growth, exceptional results in the KCBs and the Equity Bank. Going forward, we do expect Barclays to report a PBT of about 4 billion for their half-year performance.
So would you be buying the stock at this point?
Sorry?
Would you be buying Barclays Bank right now? We see it has been stronger for the day. Would you be buying it at just over 14 shillings?
Over the past few sessions, yeah, we've been seeing an uptrend in the Barclays counter. The share price has been going up, but at the moment it's heading for an overbought position, and we expect a correction immediately or as soon as the results are announced. So I would not be buying Barclays at the moment. I would actually be selling it.
You'll be selling Barclays just purely based on the fact that it has been rallying. Another bank that has come out with results, of course, a mid-tier bank, National Bank of Kenya, 17% increase there in first half profit to 911.8 million shillings. But it's interest rate expenses which have held back earnings. Give us your thoughts on those numbers.
With National Bank of Kenya, they have been on an expansion strategy. They have been adding more and more branches through brick and mortar. And also, you need to take into account the fact that they just had a leadership transition. The new CEO, we're expecting him to diversify revenue as well, to come up with a new strategy of how to grow the interest income or the income of the bank in general. So I see that the potential of that bank is there. The potential is huge for the bank, and we expect the CEO to come up with to play to the strengths of the bank, as well as diversify and look into other avenues of growing the interest income as other banks or other competitors have done.
Where does its strengths lie right now? Because it is a mid-tier bank, so it doesn't have the scale of the other larger banks like Barclays. So what type of strengths can it play to in order to capitalize on fresh new management thinking and grow earnings as you're predicting?
The main issue then became the main obstacle of National Bank of Kenya is the fact that it's majority owned by the government, and every new decision or the direction of the bank needs to be vetted and approved by the government, basically. So what we need to see is the government basically privatizing the institution for the bank to realize its full potential, because I think the bank has one of the biggest branch networks in Kenya, and it can use that as a competitive advantage to accumulate and grow its customer deposit, and that will lead to growth in its loan books.
Moses, thank you so much for joining us today. Great to have you on the show. Moses Waireri, research analyst at Genghis Capital, and congratulations to all Kenyans for now finally joining the medals table with some medals over the weekend and of course on Friday.